Everyone says the worst thing that can happen in life is betrayal. But there's something worse. When you find a way to take revenge in a way that the betrayer never even realizes, it's you. And that's what happened to me. I found out my wife was cheating with my best friend, but I didn't make a single move until I completely destroyed their lives beyond repair. I was always taught that betrayal is the worst thing that can happen in a relationship, and I believed that. But I had no idea that betrayal wouldn't be the worst part of my life. What truly hurt was how I destroyed everything for them without them even realizing. They never suspected that I knew the truth. I had always been a loyal and devoted husband. My wife Katya was not just a partner. She was my best friend, my support, my world. I never thought she could do something like that. Andrei was my best friend. We had been through so much together, from financial struggles to personal tragedies. They were family to me until I found out the truth. One day, I came home early and accidentally overheard a conversation I shouldn't have heard. I didn't plan to eavesdrop, but when I heard their voices, everything changed. And then I understood everything I had believed was a lie. I didn't immediately take any impulsive action. I decided to act in a way they never expected. I didn't confront them face to face. I knew that the worst revenge wasn't a fight or an argument, but total destruction of their lives, with no chance to turn back. First, I started with the finances. We had several loans, and I decided to stop paying them. Instead of continuing to pay them off as usual, I contacted the bank and had the loans transferred to my name. I also changed all the credit card terms. As a result, they ended up with huge debts, and that was just the beginning. Then I set up a real test for them. I contacted several people from the company where Andrei worked and told them about his failed projects, unwarranted leaves, and disciplinary issues. It cost him his job, and he was left without work. But that wasn't enough. I also called some of his friends to badmouth him at work. The rumors spread quickly, and Andrei had no chance for a new job. He was seen as a liar and a lazy person in all his circles. No money, no friends. As for my wife, I decided she wasn't even worth staying in our apartment. I changed the locks and began planning to cut off her access to everything. When she came back from yet another meeting with Andrei, I simply didn't open the door. She knocked, called, but I didn't respond. Her attempts to elicit sympathy didn't help. I took one more step. Knowing her parents always supported her, I called them and told them the truth, but not directly. I reminded them how important it was for her to keep things secret, how she had betrayed me. I didn't go into full detail, but enough for them to believe her guilt. Katya decided to go back to them for support, unaware that I had already stripped her of any chance of redemption. When she arrived, she was met coldly. Her parents didn't want to talk to her, just kicked her out. They were outraged. They didn't want to see her again. Katya was stunned. Not understanding what had happened, she thought everything would be fine, but in reality, her life started falling apart the moment she returned to her parents. But that's not all. I decided to finish their downfall. I learned they had some unpaid utility bills and I transferred them to my name, then shut off the electricity and gas. Everything they had left. Their shame and destruction. They were left without money, without jobs, without a place to live. They became socially isolated, and no matter how much they tried to seek sympathy, it was all in vain. Everyone knew the truth, but no one cared about why their world had fallen apart. They never realized who and why had taken revenge on them, but their lives were shattered, and they would never be able to return to what they had. This was my lesson for them and for everyone who thinks they can betray without consequences. They were sure I would never find out, but they had no idea how brutal my revenge could be. There are two types of people in this world: those who pay for their actions, and those who, like them, never understand what is happening to them until it's too late.